the Niner Fanatic Podcast, and happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully, everybody got a chance to spend some time with somebody that they care about. So hopefully, everybody got a chance to get some carbs in their system and have that nice nap that all of us old people love. Like, just there is no better nap than when you've carb overloaded on Thanksgiving. So, we are it is Thanksgiving. It's time to have some sea chicken for this final midnight Thanksgiving snack. And before we get into any of it, we're going to get into like a couple of things to look for in this game. We're going to talk about some inactives, some people that are surprise activated people. But before we get to any of it, we're going to get to the music.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'd like to know,
are you ready for start time?
And once again, it is Peter Lucas. This is the Niner Fanatic Podcast. Make sure you give the video a like. Make sure that you give it a subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell so you get the notifications for when I go live. Also, we're on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We're on anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. So if you don't like looking at my mug on a Thanksgiving, please go and get the audio version. I don't care where you get it, just get it. But like I said, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully everybody got some good food to enjoy today. Hopefully everybody realizes the real meaning of this holiday, which is just to give thanks for everything, that all of the pluses, all of the great things that you have going on in your life. Even if you don't think that you have a bunch of good things going on in your life, there is something that you're just not thinking about. Go back to be thankful for what you got. Okay. But first, I want to give a shout out to my girl Melissa. Appreciate you coming through, fam. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and yeah, absolutely, happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. But the games so far today, they've been kind of lackluster in my opinion. I mean, the Cowboy game is a snoozer. The Green Bay game, very surprising that Jared. I mean, I guess for a lot of people, it wasn't surprising that Jared Goff would fumble away the game literally. But yeah, that game really wasn't that exciting, in my opinion. Maybe it was just the two teams playing, but yeah, today for us 49er fans, it's about to get real at 7:20. Like, we're about to go against the Seattle Seahawks, and this is our first matchup of the season in their house on Thanksgiving. Short week for both teams, and yeah, it's gonna be. I think this is a very important game for the 49ers. I can't stress that enough, because this could swing one of two ways. If the 49ers win, they extend their lead in the division. If they lose, all of a sudden the Seahawks are number one in the division. So the 49ers would lose ground. They have a chance to gain ground on Detroit today as well. So they would miss an opportunity there. So yeah, there's a lot at stake today. And I need the 49ers to go in there and to take care of business. There are a few inactives today for the 49ers. And I messed up and took myself out of that. So for the 49ers, Brandon Allen, third quarterback, inactive. Ben Barch, the guy that they just signed, he's on the active roster, but he's inactive. Spencer Burford who it was all we were already questioning whether he was going to get a chance to play in this game. It looks like he's going to be inactive. Now that means that Feliciano is going to get to play the right guard spot because it looks like Aaron Banks is going to get to play today. And so we're excited about having Aaron Banks back. I'm kind of excited to see Feliciano in that right guard spot, just because as Spencer Burford, as much as talented as he is, he's very inconsistent in my opinion. And this is a game that we don't need any inconsistency. And Feliciano had a really good game on the left guard spot. Let's see if he has the same amount of success in the right guard spot. If he does and he can solidify that right guard spot, this could go a long way in kind of easing the minds of the 49er fans because we've been questioning the offensive lines, the right side specifically, and this could go a long way with easing the minds of the 49er fans so that they can just take their mind off of the O-line and give Brock Purdy not just give Brock Purdy some time to throw, but really I want to see them be able to get back to not only being able to run from the left side. I want them to be able to run the ball to the right as well. That opens up another dynamic that could keep teams off guard. And who knows if that's the reason why the 49ers just haven't really run the ball this season as much as in the past. But that I would like to see them get back to more of a running style, more physical style. And not that I don't love the passing and all the great throws that Purdy has made, but when you become one dimensional like that, and when you put everything on the pass, there is so much error. There's so much room for error in that it just scares me from time to time. But at least we should have some balance. It should add some balance, and so I'm excited to see Feliciano on that right side, if for no other reason than we can see what it looks like. And they also Kalia Davis, big shock, is inactive. Tyrion Davis Price, big shock, he's inactive. Jalen Graham, big shock, he's inactive. Braden Willis, big shock, he's inactive. These are guys that have been inactive all season long, not even because of injuries, just because. So I would say that for the most part, the 49ers are, other than Hufanga, like prayers up for Hufanga, other than Hufanga and a couple of guys here and there, the 49ers have stayed relatively healthy, knock on particle board. But it's been a pretty good season as far as injuries go for the 49ers. I'm really hoping that they can keep this going. And I think Kyle has done a much better job of managing these guys' touches during the season. We might not always agree. I know I don't always agree with his managing of the guys' touches, but you can't argue with the results this year, I would say. So good job, Kyle, on that. As far as the Seahawks inactives, they got Frank Clark inactive. Their guard, McClendon Curtis. Another guard, Raekwon O'Neal. Kenneth Walker is really the important one in this. Cameron Young, their defensive tackle. He's actually a pretty big depth piece for them as well. Wide receiver, Derek Young. Okay. So, but the main thing there is what's funny is Frank Clark is a healthy scratch. So I don't know if they're just saving him for depth purposes, but that's an interesting healthy scratch for me. And but Kenneth Walker is that main inactive. It looks like Geno Smith is going to start, and which he had a triceps injury in the last game, which he was kind of touch and go all this week, and we didn't know if he was going to start or not, but it looks like he's going to start. I would say that the 49ers are not scared of Geno Smith. They haven't had any problem with Geno Smith. And it'll be Steve Wilks' first matchup as the defensive coordinator to the 49ers against Geno Smith. So that's always an interesting because God knows Steve Wilks always wants to put his own spin on things. So I'm interested to see how he covers this pretty potent group of receivers that the Seahawks. I know that they haven't really lived up to expectation this year, but I would say that anytime the 49ers match up with the Seahawks, it makes me nervous. And I can't stand Pete Carroll and the gum chewing. And I mean, he's the dirtiest player. He's the dirtiest head coach in the National Football League, in my opinion. But and we're not going to get into all the reasons why, but he absolutely is in my mind. And but I just hate him for many reasons, and I hate the Seahawks for many reasons, including the fan base that really, I mean, if we're really going to get into it, they weren't there until the Legion of Boom came out. Like they didn't exist. So it's hilarious to me that they how they call themselves a fan base. But anyway, as we get back to the 49ers, and we got we got Jesus in the building. Appreciate you coming through, fam. And yeah, he asked, is Seahawks Stadium still hostile? I mean, I don't see how. We know that they're pumping crowd noise in at this point. They got caught pumping crowd noise in a couple of years back. So we know that that's a thing. Just like the Rams do. Any way to get around the 49ers taking over the stadium. I have a feeling that we're going to see, as every away game for the 49ers, we're going to see a lot of red in the stands. So I can't wait to see it. Jesus says, looks like Cowboys offense improved. Have they improved, or are they just playing a bunch of nobodies? And I mean, you could say the same thing about the 49ers. Some of the teams that they've played, they've played a couple of good defenses. So I mean, when they've outscored teams, they've beaten some pretty good defense. I mean, who have the Cowboys, and I'd have to look back, but who have the Cowboys really? I don't remember signature wins by the Cowboys, if that makes sense. I can't think of any signature wins, really. So I'm not afraid of the Cowboys offense. As we all know, Dak Prescott is going to fold in big moments. Him going against the Washington Commanders doesn't move me. Doesn't move the needle at all. And he says Cowboys versus Niners look basic now, showing different looks. Well, yeah, because they're not going against the 49ers defense. They don't have the Commanders don't have a Fred Warner out there. They don't have they're both of their premier edge rushers got taken away. So their defense is going to look completely different than they would be facing against the 49ers. So I would love to see the Cowboys again in the playoffs. I would love for that to happen. I think the 49ers, it would be very similar to what the 49ers did to them in the regular season. In my opinion, I just don't think that Dak is set up as I just don't think that what they expect of Dak is not the type of quarterback that he is. He needs a running game really bad. If he has a running game, then he can be good, just like every other quarterback in the National Football League. But when he doesn't have a running game, it looks kind of spotty, and he ends up being. And when you're one dimensional with him, it doesn't look as nice when you're going up against the better teams. So I would love for that matchup to come again. Yeah, top defenders are Allen and Payne, but it's not enough. Yeah, and Pollard is not a number one. Absolutely not. They just don't have and they don't commit to the run. They don't commit to the run enough to justify to help out Dak. That's a lot of teams, a lot of NFL teams just refuse to commit to the run. Everybody thinks that they have to depend on the quarterback, and that's just not that's not winning football to me. I just don't think it's winning football unless you have a Tom Brady. Every other quarterback in this league, or a Patrick Mahomes, but even Patrick Mahomes, you see, is struggling right now because he doesn't have the weapons that are going to get him be able to get open on a regular basis so that when he makes plays, somebody's there to catch it. So, because they got to catch the ball and he's putting it in their hands, they just not catching it. So, but other than Mahomes and Brady, no other quarterback in this league can really can do much without balance in the offense and without a good offensive coordinator. So it is what it is. But yeah, Dak absolutely needs a lot of help. But so we talked about the inactives in this game. Samuel Molmack is coming back from IR tonight. He's coming back to the team. I don't expect him to be in heavy rotation. I think he's probably going to play some special teams. He might be thrown in there here and there. Like I highly doubt. I highly doubt that they are going to give him a whole lot of snaps. He's definitely not going to be starting. I think Ambry Thomas has really played well the last couple of games, and that allows Deommodore Lenoir to slide inside. And I think that is the best 3 wide receiver group you got. And in this game in particular, when you're going up against a guy like DK Metcalf, which I love when the 49ers get to play a team with a dynamic, big receiver like DK Metcalf, because Mooney Ward, that is who he excels against. He excels against bigger wide receivers like DK Metcalf that want to get physical because he can match the physicality. Where Mooney Ward struggles is against those smaller guys. If he got matched up against Lockett, it would be a problem. It's going to be a problem if he gets matched up against Lockett. But yeah, when he gets matched up against a DK Metcalf, that's going to be a rough game for DK Metcalf. And we've seen it the last 2 times they've matched up, or 3 times they've matched up. He makes DK Metcalf get pretty frustrated, and it gets to the point to where like Metcalf ends up getting penalties and all that. He full on frustrates DK Metcalf. So I'm not too worried about DK Metcalf in this game. The guy that worries me the most always, every single time the 49ers go up against him is Tyler Lockett. I think he's the best wide receiver on that team. I think he has been the best wide receiver on that team for a while. And they also have their rookie Njigba. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And Bobo, surprisingly, out of UCLA. That guy has kind of come on the last couple of games. But Njigba, I think up to this point has been a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, he's a rookie. There's not many rookie wide receivers that just hit the ground running. He's probably going to be good in a couple of years. By that time, they'll be cycling Tyler Lockett out or DK Metcalf for all we know. But I think that was a preemptive move. The really important matchup for me was Kenneth Walker not being in there, and now you've got Charbonnet starting out of UCLA and formerly of Michigan, by the way. But yeah, Charbonnet will be starting, who is actually, to me, a little bit more dynamic than Kenneth Walker. He just doesn't have the power running style that Kenneth Walker has. But that means to me that we're going to see probably a lot of screens with Charbonnet, and they're going to try and use his wiggle ability for him to get open on those against this defense on screens, draws, that kind of stuff. I don't expect him to get a ton of yards on the ground. I do expect him to be involved in the screen game. So I'm going to be looking out for that. I don't expect Geno Smith to get – I think he's going to get at least 250 yards passing in this game just because that's what the 49ers do. They play it. Last game, they played a little bend but don't break style. And I think they're going to let Geno pass underneath. They have been, which I hate looking at it. But as long as it works, it's fine with me. But the only time when it doesn't work for me is when you're giving up time of possession. And that doesn't give the 49er offense. It's great when the offense is working on all cylinders. But when it's not, and you're not scoring, and you have to punt a few times, all of a sudden time of possession comes into play, and now And then the 49ers end up with not enough opportunities to score enough points. I think that's going to be a huge thing to look at in this game is can the 49ers score enough points early in this game to put, because if they can get up early, it's going to be a long night for the Seahawks. Yeah, because then Kyle can open up the playbook and do whatever he wants out there. The defense will absolutely pin its ears back. And Jesus says Lockett's almost washed up. I mean, he might be, but he is a wily veteran at this point. He still can do things. I just think it's really Geno Smith that's the problem over there, in my opinion. I think Geno Smith kind of showed us who he really is. Who we all expected him to be. I think that he has excelled because of the run game of the Seahawks and their system and how they really depend on the run, and everything is built off. The passing game is built off of that. But so that's a perfect system for his skill set. But yeah, it's when it comes, if you can make them one dimensional, he is not the type of guy to just bring you back. Well, McIntosh play. He wasn't on the inactive list, so I'm assuming he is. And they don't have a quick shifty. They have Njigba, but they just haven't been using him like that. So I don't know what's going to happen as far as that goes. Because it really comes down to Pete Carroll and the style of offense that he likes. He's always likes to be physical. He always likes to be. He's kind of similar to Kyle in that aspect. They have two different styles, but they like to be physical. They like to run the ball and really play the time of possession game. But somebody's going to lose the time of possession. And the 49ers have a way more explosive offense than the Seahawks do. So if they can be explosive early, it's not going to be a question in my mind. Yeah, Geno absolutely was overpaid, by the way. But it is what it is. They didn't really have an option at the time. So but I look at the Seahawks depth chart, and I'm not going to hold you guys too much longer because I just wanted to make this a quick pregame show. But I look at their depth chart. Really, what I'm looking at is their offensive line. Charles Cross, their second year man at left tackle, he's been the one guy that's been kind of consistent the whole time. But their offensive line has been kind of disappointing, to say the least. They can't stay healthy, and I don't think that they've had all five healthy for a game this year yet. So it's been kind of a disappointment for them, because I think all the talk in the offseason was that this was a young on the upswing offensive line. They got their two bookend tackles in one draft, and then they added some more pieces this year. So I think we all thought that was going to be a strength for them, and it has not been. Also, yeah, I mean, I don't see anything on their offense that I'm afraid of, other than the guys that I just talked about. Defensively, their defensive line hasn't really played that bad. Like, in my mind, from what I've seen, Boye Mafe has been more of a pass rusher. I think that he's done a lot better. I really couldn't tell you the names. Bobby Wagner has been pretty solid. Has been doing Bobby Wagner things. Jordan Brooks, Devin Witherspoon has been really good. I like Witherspoon. I mean, I don't like him because he's Seahawk, but and then of course Tariq Woolen had like a little bit. He hasn't been as good as last year, but he's been solid. So, but the good thing about, and Quandre Diggs is always Quandre Diggs. Jamal Adams is still a linebacker. They're still going to take advantage of him in coverage, and I'm really interested to see. I mean, Shanny always does the same thing. It doesn't matter if you have good corners. And this is why I didn't understand the thought process with the Seahawks when they did their draft is, yeah, you got another corner. So now you got bookend corners. Great. But that's what Shanny does. He schemes you out. He takes advantage of the rules of your cornerbacks and just schemes his guys open. You're not gonna. The guys are gonna be open, even if Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and all our weapons were hurt. Like the Shanny would find a way to scheme guys open. Now they may not get as many yards. They may not even make the catch, but those guys are gonna be open. And so Shanny's gonna scheme guys open. It's not even a question. It's what do those guys do with it when they get the ball. And I think that is a mistake that a lot of teams make against the Niners. Is you look at the matchup and you say, oh well, we got this guy, we got that guy. Those they're going to be able to cover CMC, this that. No, you're thinking of it the wrong way, because people are shocked every single time the 49ers explode. But the reality is Shanny is going to attack the rules of your defense. It has nothing to do. Those guys out there, how great of players some of them are, they're just pylons. They turn into pylons, and they just turn into people that are part of and that's really what they are at this point in the NFL. Is they're running a scheme just like you are, and you got to find a way to take advantage of what they're supposed to do in that coverage, and yeah, and take advantage of it. And that's what Kyle does every single time. So I don't care. Tyreek Woolen, it could be Deion Sanders over there. I don't really care. I don't think that Shanny would have a problem scheming anybody open because of the way the rules are in the NFL today. Um, model car in the house. Appreciate you coming through, fam. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, to you and yours. And once again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Like, I mean, it's great day to spend with family. That's really what it's about. It's not about anything else. It's spending time with family, get with you and yours, getting to eat some good food, and yeah, and then taking a nap later. That's and for those that the have-nots out there, I feel for you. We all feel for you. There's still something I'm sure that you can be thankful for. So make sure that you are thankful for those things. We've all, everybody has had downtimes. So big ups to you and yours as well. And, but so we look at the depth chart for the Seahawks, and yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I don't think that I think that the 49ers, if it was just a regular matchup, I think that the 49ers, I mean, this is not a good matchup for the Seahawks. That's the way I look at it. This game is going to be all about Kyle and how he's viewing the matchup. How deep he's going to go into his bag of tricks, and is he going to go all scheme and go all game script and not adjust to what they're doing? How is he going to keep balance? Do the 49ers execute and not get a bunch of penalties? Because that could derail everything very quickly. They need to come into this game with the understanding that they need this game to keep first place in the division. They need this game to finally take that number 2 spot. They need it. So, yeah. Like, I mean, do they come in with that mentality? Or do they come in with the mentality that we're on a roll, where we should beat this team and we're just going to come out here and do what we do? I'm hoping that Kyle understands the importance, because Kyle has in the past has been a slave to his game script, and at times can forget about the run game now that he has Brock Purdy. And I just think, and sometimes he just uses CMC too much. I would like on those shorter, those third and shorts and those fourth and shorts, for us to go ahead and use a Jordan Mason just to get a bigger, stronger back in there, just to be physical. We got to insert some physicality, I feel, into this offense. I would like to see some put into it. It can't all be finesse. Because eventually we're going to need that physicality back in. I do love the fact that he's kind of gone away from the wide back stuff with Debo to a point. So hopefully we still continue to see that part and we don't see as much of that. But I do need to see more Debo in the screen game. I do need to see Debo with some more deep in cuts. Like I want to. It can't all be Brandon Ayuk. As much as we've begged them to get Brandon Ayuk involved, I want it should be a fearsome threesome with him, with Debo, Kittle, and Ayuk. They should be the ones featured in the passing game. It shouldn't all be CMC. Should not be your leading receiver. That should not happen. So I get it that he's going to get some, but I would love to see some the other guys stay involved. In the last couple of games, that's happened. They've been pretty good about passing the love, spreading the love around. I want to see some more. Kyle, got to keep doing it. You got to be consistent and keep teams off guard. But the how you do that, the main way that you do that is that you've got to have balance. You've got to have balance. You cannot go away from the run game. And the best way to stay consistent with that run game is to not run the ball, not run it with CMC 25 times a game, but mix in some Elijah Mitchell, mix in some Jordan Mason, get those guys involved, and it's just a constant battering ram to just wear down the defense. So that's kind of what I want to see in this game. I think that we are going to miss Huff a little bit. I'm really excited to see Jair Brown start on the defensive side, but I do think that we're going to miss Huff at some point. And hopefully Jair Brown does gives us all the things that Huff gives us. But at the very least, he's a rookie. So my expectation for him is not all pro status. And so I'm going to be wary of that. We're super excited to see him start. We're super excited to see what he can do. But it does, with this wide receiver core, it does make me a little bit wary. But at the same time, I think the 49ers win this game. I think that the 49ers are going to beat this team. My score prediction is actually going to be a 27 to 10 game. I think that the 49ers, was that my original score prediction? Yeah, it was 21. I think it was 27 to 10. And I think that this team is about to go on a run. I think the 49ers, as long as they stay the course, as long as they keep that balance on offense, and the defense can, at a point, bend but don't break. I would like to see them be more physical, but as long as they keep teams from scoring a lot of points, and as long as the offense can play that complementary football and they can keep scoring, it's not going to be an issue. But this defense, if the offense isn't scoring, that defense is going to become a problem. So the offense has to score points. They have to score points. Otherwise, we're going to be complaining about Steve Wilkes again because of the way that he runs this defense. He's not going to give up a ton of points, but the time of possession that he gives up is going to be key. And but I see the 49ers winning this game 27. I think that they're going to go up early. And I think Brock Purdy's going to have himself a day again. I don't see this team. This Seahawks team being able to hold this offense. I just don't see it. And now, is it possible? Everything's possible. It's the NFL. But I don't see it in this game. I think, I want to see the 49ers go out there and dominate. And I know all of you want to go out there and see the 49ers dominate on this Thanksgiving Day. We need to be able to give thanks for this beatdown that the 49ers should be putting up on the Seahawks today. So get hype. enjoy the last of some more Thanksgiving seconds, thirds, whatever you're on, and some pie, and just enjoy this beatdown that's about to happen. I can feel it. It's coming. And I will see you guys after the game. Make sure that you give this video a like. Make sure that you give it a subscribe. Make sure that you hit the bell so you get the notifications for when I go live. Yeah, tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day, every week. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a few hours, right after the game. But until then, go Niners.